Hey guys, and welcome to day 4 of Cyber School. In today's second lesson, we're going to be with Hannah again, looking at how to hide from the hackers. Hannah is a former RAF Intelligence Analyst, and she really knows her stuff when it comes to online safety and protecting personal data. We'll be looking at some pretty cool, interesting topics, and that includes learning how someone hacks into a casino, for example, and how we can create fake online identities. Lastly, the Cyber School Easter egg hunt has finally begun. Head to our website, cyberschool.ac, and click #FindTheEgg to get started. And keep your eyes peeled for any clues which might pop up in just a second or the end of this lesson, for example. Have fun, guys, and see you soon. Bye.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 4 of Cyber School. Today, we're going to be looking at hiding from the hackers. My name is Hannah, and I'm going to be teaching you a few tricks today to stay a bit more anonymous online and hide from the hackers. So, top tips to stay safe online today. So, just be aware of the amount of personal information that you're posting online, as anybody could be reading it. Only use your real full name to people that you know or for official purposes. So personally identifiable information, or PII as it's known, that is your name, date of birth, email address, or school name, can all help hackers to build up a picture of you to make it easier to hack or to commit a crime against you. Not everyone who is using the internet has good intentions. And some people are looking at all this information to try and commit crimes against you. So if you use social media, you shouldn't necessarily use your real name or email address or your school or your work name. And you'd always review the security settings and make sure they're properly locked down so you aren't posting information to hackers who may be looking for it. If you need to sign up for something, the best thing to do sometimes is actually to create a fake persona and details. So we're going to have a look at how to do this right now. So just move to this website here to show you, fakenamegenerator.com. So the best thing, so a fake persona is a fake generated identity. So this just helps when you can't think of, if you want to make a fake persona, but you just can't think of all the details, or you end up using the same details all the time. And this would just help to sign up for an account, like a podcast or something that you want to sign up to, some other kind of mailing list or something. But they don't actually need to know all your real data. So a music site doesn't need to know your real date of birth. It doesn't need to know your true full name. It doesn't need to know your real email, phone number, and only official purposes need to know those exact details. If you put them onto all different sites, this just helps hackers. You don't know who's going to read them. Hackers can find these details and just build a picture about you. So the best thing to do, if you're not necessarily applying for a passport, a driving license, or something mega important official document like that, just to use fake details. So this website is actually really good. So we're just going to have a play around and have a look. Let's have a look here. Let's make a couple of personas, and I'll just show you what I mean with the information. So we're going to make a male, going to make a Brazilian name set, and then he can live in Brazil with that, and we'll just generate it now. And then if we go down, scroll down, show you what I mean. So we've made Lucas Ribeiro Melo. It gives you his mother's maiden name here, Oliveira. Tells you where he is. These are the geo coordinates, so you can look those up, Google Earth. Gives you a phone number, gives you a birthday, so born in 1982, 37 years old. Also, if you scroll down, gives you some finance details. So these won't actually be linked to a real card, so you can't actually buy anything with these. However, they will work. Like when you sign up for like a subscription service and it's all 7 days free, but put in your card details here. So you just pop those details in, you get your 7 days free, and then after that, then it will just disappear. So unlike if you use your real card, you don't know where your credit card details are going, and actually you probably forget after 7 days, and then it would just get charged anyway. So it's pretty good to use. And obviously, if you just save the information here, you can just go back to it and see what you actually have put in and use it another time. So it's pretty useful. We'll just try another one just to show that it is random and different every time. So we'll do female, do Chinese, why not? And make them, I mean, probably living in China. No, not an option. In Italy, why not? So let's generate that. So Lin Pen. So here we go. So that's obviously generated Chinese type maiden name, phone number. So now born in 1963, so 56 years old. Gives you some kind of employment details, physical characteristics. So it's pretty useful actually, and can be used every time you want to try and sign for something online. So it's much safer and better to hide from nefarious purposes. Okay, so next thing we're going to be looking at is other ways of hiding your online presence. So one of the other main personally identifiable information we have all the time is our email address. So obviously it's pretty, you have to use it really for important information, but you must get a lot of spam messages as well. So, and it's really annoying sometimes. You have an inbox full of spam, and actually you don't know who else has got access to your email address. So the best thing to do if you sign up for a new service is actually to use a disposable email. So I'll just move across now and show you a different site. So this is called 10-Minute Mail. So this website can just give you a disposable email, which you'll see this highlighted here. So if you want to sign up for a service, but then you don't want to continue getting spam afterwards, so just pop this in, and then while you're on the site, you'll get, obviously the website you're signing up to will say, oh, is this you? Send an email to that email address saying, hi, is this you? Click yes. So you click it in here, and then that's you set up. So, and then after that, you won't continue to get spam emails to your normal inbox, which is pretty handy. And also you haven't given away your email address to anybody else. So obviously the more bits of data somebody has about you can just build up. So they might have found you on social media, then they can find your email address, they can 2 steps to that to find your mobile phone number, and they're just building up their little investigation picture of you, which you want to stop them from doing. So next thing we're going to look at is IP addresses. So this is an address that every device has. It's connected to the internet, an address made up of 4 blocks of numbers. Every device that connects to the internet has one, like I just said, and it can be used to track us and find us. So if you don't know where to go to find your own IP address, we're going to do that in a second. We're going to be using the command prompt from our computer. So if you go to, I'll give you a demonstration. You go to the start menu on your computer, type in CMD, the command prompt. This brings up a black box. So if you just wait 2 secs, it's coming up. So it looks something like this. Now, in order to bring up the IP address from your own laptop, you want to type ipconfig. So if you do that, so once you have watched this whole video, maybe come back to this part and then replay this bit so you can see what I've typed, and then you want to press enter or return, and then that will then drop down and give you information about your own system. I'm not going to do it on this because if I do it now, then I'm displaying my own IP address to the world, which is not what I'm about. So I'm going to close this down, but that'll be interesting for you guys to do. And then now I'm going to show you why I don't want my IP address being seen. So if we go to the next website I want to show you, it says an IP location finder. So iplocation.net. This will find the geolocation of any IP address. So if we scroll down a bit. This is telling me this is my IP address. This is not my real IP address because I'm using a VPN, which we're going to talk about in a second. But for the purposes of this, this is my email address, my IP address right now. So if we scroll down a little bit, we can see on here, this is my IP address, and it's telling me my IP location is in France. So it's giving you quite a lot of information. And obviously, if you add that to social media information, add that to your mail information, you're given a lot of information online to hackers. So as I mentioned, this isn't my IP address here. So what I've been doing is using the VPN, so virtual private network. This basically obfuscates or hides where your IP is coming from, where you're coming from to access the internet. So I'll give you a look now. So I'm using Surfshark VPN. Others are available. I'll just show you the client on the side. So as you can see, this says I'm connected from France, so Paris specifically. So what we can do here is actually change the location, and then I'll show you, if we change the location, then we can look back and see if the IPGO matches up. So this is pretty clever. We'll go for Berlin, why not? So now it's trying to connect. So it looks like we're connecting from Berlin then. So I'll get a new IP address. There we go. Berlin, happy days. I'll just hide that again. And then we'll go back to the website we just looked at before, iplocation.net, refresh. And there we go. My IP address has now changed again. And then if we scroll down, it's now showing that we're coming from Berlin. Magic. But still hiding my real IP address from anybody that could be looking, which is really good. So that's the next thing you should do. Once you've watched the whole video, is just try and see if you can use a VPN and then try and change the location for your IP. So as I mentioned, Surfshark's one of them. There's also NordVPN and Proton VPN, which are pretty good, but it's best to do your own research and see what you can find security-wise. So the next thing we're going to look at is Wi-Fi. So most of us connect to Wi-Fi every day using our tablets or phones or laptops, like I'm doing now. We'll mostly connect to an access point in our own house, so it's nice and secure. Sometimes we'll connect to open access points, such as in a coffee shop or airport or hotel, and these are less secure. So basically, hackers could be setting up free access points for you to attach to, and then they can read all the data going across it. So you have to be really careful with the access points that you get attached to access the internet. And I definitely would recommend that you just use secure ones that you know who the owners are. I'm just going to give you a show now of a website called wiggle.net. So that's wiggle with 1G. And this shows you all different wireless access points in the world. So we'll have a quick look. I'll just scroll up. So this is what a previous search I was looking at. So I was just looking at seeing Buckingham Palace, London, and trying to see how many different Wi-Fi access points I could see around there. So as you can see, it's quite a lot. All these little blue dots, these are all Wi-Fi points. So if we scroll in a bit, just trying to see where Buckingham Palace is. I think this bit is Buckingham Palace. So if we just zoom in a little bit, zoom in some more, getting there, and zoom in some more. Here we go. This gives you quite a lot of information here. So you can see it gives you the name of some of the Wi-Fi access points. So you've got staff Wi-Fi, guest Wi-Fi. It's giving you the name of the phone. So that's a Huawei P20 Pro, another staff Wi-Fi, another staff Wi-Fi. So if we try and zoom in a bit more, it gives you some more information. So again, it's crazy how much information we leak online. So here, we'll just look at this Huawei phone. So this number underneath, this is the MAC address for the device. So the MAC address is the unique identifier for that device. So you could track that down and you can see what else it could be connected to. It's pretty scary, really. Let's look for something else. Shall we look for White House, Washington, DC? I think that's the first one there. So have a look. Again, so many different access points here. There's the White House here. Let's move across and we'll just zoom in, see if we can find President Trump's phone. Who knows? Seems like there are quite a few access points just on the map here. Just bear with it for a second. Still going, still going. So yeah, like you can see here, there's a few different access points you can see even in the White House. So there you go. Just some device names there, but you'll be able to get, if you zoom in a bit more, you'll be able to get their MAC addresses as well. So it's just leaking a lot of data. This could belong to somebody really important, and that information could be used against them. So part of the homework project again for this module is to have a look at Wi-Fi access points near your house or other places that you go, see what information you can find out online, and then try and secure it. So the next thing we're going to talk about is search engines. So which search engine would you normally probably straight away go to? Probably Google. Everybody uses Google, I think. It's probably the easiest, the quickest, but it's also the one that every search you do, every email you send, anything else you do online, if you use the Google Chrome browser, it records everything about you and aggregates all that data to build up a picture about you. So it's actually pretty scary. If you can, it's best to try and use other search engines, especially if you're trying to hide what you're doing online, or if you just don't fancy this big data giant hoovering up everything about you, because who knows where it's going to end up, right? So just for some other information, I'm going to look at a couple of other search engines. So two that I like are DuckDuckGo.com. Touts itself as the search engine that doesn't track you. So, I mean, who am I to say they do or they don't, but I imagine it's probably a bit more data privacy friendly than Google. Also, Startpage.com. This is also self-proclaiming the world's most private search engine. So who am I to argue? But these are two that definitely would recommend to use rather than Google. Next thing we're going to be starting looking at is the Internet of Things. So I guess most of us now have some kind of smart devices, not just phones. We have other devices connected to the internet, and generally these are controlled by apps on our phone generally. So the security of these devices aren't necessarily very strong. I mean, the first thing you do when you get like an Alexa or I don't know, an app to control your lights on your phone, you're not really looking at security settings behind it. But I would argue you definitely need to, because if you aren't looking at them, somebody else could look at them. So hackers can use these really easy devices with no security on to get onto your home network and then pivot around from there and then manage to get onto other more secure devices. So as I mentioned, all sorts of things are now smart devices. So you've got lights, Fitbits, fridges, doorbells, toys, baby monitors, all sorts of things. So we're just going to have to take a look at some of these right now. The first thing we're going to look at, to show you now, is the Happy Fork of all the things. So this is a smart fork. So I'll just show you a quick part of the video. stop that there. I think we've all seen enough. Whoever knew we would need an internet connected fork, right? Not quite sure if that's hygienic attached to the laptop either, but there we go. So again, this is great. It's giving lots of information back to the laptop. It's, you know, everything you've eaten, how fast you eat, how much you've digested, etc. But I don't expect security was really built into this. So I look at another device. Okay, so the next thing we're going to actually look at is about a case that happened in 2017 in a casino in America. And this is where hackers actually managed to hack into the casino and find out the high rollers, so the biggest gamblers, the high earners, find their personal information by hacking the fish tank within the casino. So they managed, the fish tank had sensors to regulate temperature, food levels, cleanliness, etc. So they managed to get into this and then pivoted from there across the network into the casino's main network, and they managed to steal 10 gigabytes worth of data, which was then exfiltrated out to a device in Finland. So again, and this information was personally identifiable information about the bank's biggest high rollers, their biggest customers. So we'll just watch this video now. So again, that's pretty interesting, right? How something so innocuous could then lead to such a massive data breach, massive cybersecurity scare. So again, these are things that need to be looked at when you're connecting any device. The next thing we're going to look at is pretty scary from a sort of child safety point of view, actually. So just to be aware of, this is where home cameras were hacked. I'll just show you quickly this video as well.
Home security cameras meant to keep you safe, but now reports that hackers are breaking into them, terrifying families. Will Reeve is here with more. Good morning, Will.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Yeah, they're a huge holiday gift, those home security cameras. But for some people whose systems were hacked into and their families messed with, they may have buyer's remorse, or at the very least, they have questions about how something like this could happen.
This morning, two families say their Ring camera systems were hacked, essentially allowing people into their homes without ever stepping foot inside. In Mississippi, this chilling video from inside Ashley LeMay's home shows her 8-year-old daughter Alyssa frantically searching for an invisible intruder.
Who is that?
I'm your best friend. I'm Santa Claus.
You can hear the male voice ask the young girl to destroy her own stuff.
You can do whatever you want right now. You can mess up your room. You can break your TV.
Alyssa, scared and confused, cries out for help.
I can't.
So that's pretty horrendous, right? The hackers breaking into a small girl's bedroom camera and then speaking to her through it. It's just, I think it's thankful that nothing worse happened to this. I think actually the manufacturers of this did increase security afterwards. But this is, again, something to be aware of when installing any smart device in your house or connecting anything to your phone. Just something to think of. So the next thing I'm going to show you, actually, speaking of Internet of Things, connected devices, there's actually a search engine for IoT devices. This, I'll show you here, this is HostThatShowDown.io. So this is where you can search any type of Internet connected device. So as you can see, I'm going to just type in here Fitbit, and this will show you any instances of insecure Fitbits being seen all around the world. So as you can see here, it's given us a few results. So it gives us instances of when Fitbits have been beaconing out data. So here you can see IP addresses, other kinds of information. So this was just one thing we looked at, Fitbits. So we can look for Alexas. And people are using this website all the time. So it's just an open source website to find vulnerabilities in Internet of Things items. So if your new Internet of Things bit of kit hasn't had the security fixed on it, probably going to end up on here. So it's a good way of checking, actually. So it's just more things to be aware of on how to hide yourself from hackers. Probably don't connect everything you own to the internet is one good top tip. One tip to take away from this today. So now we've reached the end of the talk on how to hide from the hackers, and I hope you found some really good information and some good tips on how to hide yourself online, how to be better secured against people who are trying to do harm to you online, and just be a bit more internet savvy, especially with regards to social media and the type of information you post and the kinds of crimes that could be committed against you or your family due to the insecurity of things that you post about. So just keep that in mind. So as I've mentioned throughout the video, there's a few tasks that I'd like you to do. So obviously you can rewind after this, and I think there's a slide deck underneath that you can have a look at as well. So the first one was to find your own IP address from your computer. So that was using the command prompt, and then try and download a VPN client and see what country you can change your IP address to, and then check on the IP geolocation tool. Also have a go at making your own fake persona, using the fake name generator. So that can be really interesting. Just see if you can make any good ones, or next time you sign up for something, have a look at using one of those. Also, you should have a look at what the Wi-Fi access points, maybe near your house or near your school. So remember using wiggle.net. That was really interesting. Or even just famous places, and see how insecure wireless Wi-Fi access points are showing around the world. Also, just have a look and make a list of all the Internet of Things devices you have in your house, and then see if you can find out them on Showdown. And just have a look and see if there's any there that are vulnerable. Just for your awareness, might be interesting. Might give your parents a bit of a security scare and get them to be a bit more secure, conscious when they bring things into the house. So with these homework projects, just make sure you don't share any of this information in projects. If you like this lesson or you found it interesting, just send us a thumbs up on social media, say hi, and say thanks, that was really interesting. And the tag is #cyberschool. Thank you for listening today, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.